Hey champions, in this video I'm going to be going over a relatively confusing concept called the stack. So I'm going to give you two examples of it. If it still doesn't make sense, feel free to reach out to us. It is a confusing concept, but mastering it will give you so much advantage in this game. So I'm going to show you two different scenarios here. The board setup, here's Raha, this is me. On my side I have Water Elemental. My opponent, Malik here, has chased me down with his Hunting Hound and Earth Elemental, and then he also has a Fire Elemental paired off against my Water Elemental. So I'm starting first. What's going to happen is my Water Elemental is going to attack this Fire Elemental. So he's taking his 3 damage and putting it onto the stack. So we can represent that with this dice and an exhaustion token. In response to that, this Fire Elemental is going to attack back. So what does this mean? So on top of the stack, we have his 3 damage and the exhaustion token. So the stack always works from the top down. So the first thing that would resolve is Fire Elemental's attack, which would kill Water Elemental, removing his ability from the stack because he's no longer in the arena. So how can we respond to this? Well, lucky for me, I have Air Shield in my hand. So this prevents 1 damage to a target until the end of the round. Notice that it's swift speed. So the moment a stack starts, once the first item goes onto the stack, the only things that can be put on top of it are swift abilities. So like Air Shield here, it's swift, so I will play that in response. So what happens first? Air Shield resolves, preventing the next 1 damage to Water Elemental. Then Fire Elemental's damage goes through. This exhausts Fire Elemental, dealing 3 damage, but we prevent 1 of that from the Air Shield. So now Water Elemental's down to 1 health. The next thing that happens is Water Elemental's attack resolves, dealing 3 damage to Fire Elemental, killing it. Now, obviously my opponent's pretty frustrated, and he's like, alright, I'm just going to attack you head on with Malik. He comes in and does heavy attack for 4 damage, hitting me for an additional 4. Alright, we let that go through. Now it's back to my turn. With Raha, what I'm going to do is something kind of clever. So I'm in a pretty tight bind here. I want to get away from Malik as much as possible. So I want to teleport. My goal is to get onto the other side of the board. So teleport's an action. Actions can only be played during your main phase, so I'm skipping my move phase and I'm going straight to my main. Actions can only start a stack, they cannot be put onto a stack later. So I'm starting the stack with teleportation. Once I start a stack, I can pass it to my opponent to respond. Malik has no responses to this, so it's not just Malik who could respond. At this point, Hunting Hound could respond or Earth Elemental, but Hunting Hound does not want to respond by attacking Malik. That doesn't make sense. Earth Elemental doesn't have anyone within his awareness, so he won't respond either. So in response to the teleportation, I'm going to play 1 Guided Arrow. Once that's paid for, I put it onto the stack. So now the stack consists of a teleportation and then a Guided Arrow. I give it back to my opponent to do any responses. Hunting Hound, Earth Elemental, and Malik have no responses. Then play another Guided Arrow. Both of these targeting Earth Elemental right now. Once again, my opponent has no responses. I play a 3rd Guided Arrow targeting Earth Elemental. But that's not everything. I'm going to do one more thing on the stack. I'm going to put Raha's range attack 2 targeting Hunting Hound. So this is now the stack. Teleportation, 3 Guided Arrows, and my range attack 2. So the first thing that resolves is the range attack 2. Since neither me nor my opponent have any responses, we'll let that resolve. This deals 2 damage to the Hunting Hound, killing it. Then the next thing that happens is Guided Arrow resolves, dealing 1 damage to this Earth Elemental, bringing him to 2. Then the second Guided Arrow, bringing him down to 1 health. And then the last Guided Arrow, killing this Earth Elemental. And now the teleportation resolves. So after all that damage is dealt, and I'm currently exhausted because of the range attack 2, teleportation resolves, and I teleport over to the other side of the board, just out of range of Malik. So notice that I was exhausted while the stack was going off, because the first thing that happened was my range attack 2, and that exhausted me. But that doesn't mean that the stack is done. Everything else still resolves. Once everything else has resolved, now I'm exhausted, and since I'm exhausted during my main phase, the main phase ends. But the teleportation happened last. So this is where you can take that advantage. You can teleport, and in response to your own teleport, you can do basic attack 1 or guided arrows or any other swift abilities, so that you can do those while you're in the opportune position to do them and then teleport away. This is going to be really useful for other cards in the game. So work at mastering the stack, ask any questions at all. We want you to be the best champions you can be. Anyways, that's it for this video. Leave comments below as usual, and talk to you later. Bye.